Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmakers getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K, the 4 units getting played. Always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking money.
And here we go.
Welcome to the Balking Dead, fellas, where there is no sleep for the wicked. It's Monday, guys, and it just ain't any Monday. It's a Monday where the best pitching prop show on God's green earth just got better. As we're going to start adding in a 3 to 5 minute segment after the third pitcher we talk about from different cappers throughout the week, starting today with LJ, with Hit and Run with LJ. So let's keep this Christmas in June going. Of course, guys, you know this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over to PrizePicks, use that promo code PUBSPORTS, and on your first deposit, they will match you up to 100, minimum of 25. As you already know, guys, as you win, they want in. We have another sponsor on this show, Dubby, guys, not Doobie. Dubby. It's a clean energy powder with no come down to your day. Simply by scanning this QR code on screen, you will get 10% off your first order by using the best promo code on earth, Pub Sports, that is. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you all for coming in on this beautiful Monday. Shout out to the best producer in the whole wide world, Big Show Picks. You guys know the drill. Hit that like if you already haven't, and make sure you have them notification bells on. We will compare the best lines available when first open to the best lines available 30 minutes prior to the show. Then we will compare them to what PrizePicks has to offer. We're doing our job, guys, this month by not pressing and waiting for our spots, and we got a few spots to talk about. So let's start the day off talking about Uncle Charlie. Number 29 in the black book, Charlie Morton, has a 25% K% on the year and a 9.8 walk percentage. Morning line on DraftKings was 8+ at plus 105. And that still is the best number available. He's now at a plus 115, my bad, on DraftKings as the best number available. PrizePicks has him at a flat 8, where his hits allowed under over are at 5. Projected lineup is 6 righties and 3 lefties. I believe that lineup still hasn't came out, as that's something I'm definitely paying attention to. K per 9 this year, guys. He has a 11.2 K per 9 at home and only an 8.9 on the road where he is at today. We're dominating the lefties at an 11.8 K per 9. Well, has struggling versus the right-handed side with an 8.3 K per 9. Now we start the show off with seems to be a reoccurring theme today on today's episode of The Balking Dead. And this is a great matchup from the baseball gods. When we look at these Tigers numbers over the last 15 days versus right-handed pitchers, they're some of the worst in the league. They're bottom 2 in every hitting category, where they're walking league average, but they're also striking out at a stupid 29%. And the books know this as well, as we get our first 7.5 next to Morton's name this year, which actually does make sense, guys, as he has hit 8 or more strikeouts in 40% of his last 10 games. And the plus 115 equals exactly where this line should be if we're just going to base it off the averages. And that's what I like to bet, guys. So, yeah, we're smashing this, right, guys? Well, Hold up, guys. At the moment, I have no bets in due to his splits. This goes back to last year and including this year, but it is a lot more drastic this year. Morton's strikeout percentage falls off a cliff versus right-handed batters on the road going back to last year. 2022, he had an elite 35% strikeout rate at home versus the right-handed side and a decent 25% strikeout rate on the road. This year, guys, he has a 24% strikeout rate at home. Well, on the road, it drops to a disgusting 19.2% this year on the road. Yeah, guys, if we look at it, at how these Tigers are hitting over the last 15 days, it says terrible. But if we look at it, how they've been hitting at home, they're not as terrible as what these numbers say. Yes, they're still not, they are walking at 9%. And they are still striking out at a 24.3%, guys. That's bad, guys, but 29% overall screams we need to stick the knife in. This year alone, Charlie Morton has faced 3 teams on the road with a K percentage of 24 or worse. He is 0-2 when he has been set at a 5.5, but when they did jump him up to a 6.5, he smacked the Rangers, guys, with a nice 10-piece that day. So at the moment, guys, they are projecting 3 lefties and Javier Baez, meaning Javier Baez is always good for 1 to 4 strikeouts himself. I won't even look to alt him today, guys, unless I get those 4 more lefties, as Morton's struggles on the road have been real, guys, and it's more than just this year, guys. I've been burnt too many times in these great spots. It's still either over or nothing for this man, as the Tigers are the Tigers. It just, I have to let them go for now until I see the lineup. It is what it is, but I will not let this next man go, as I have altered him a few different ways. 92 in the black book, James Paxton versus the Rockies. This year he has a 33% K percentage and an 8.3 walk percentage in 5 games. Opening line on DraftKings was 8+ at -120, where the best line available is +102 on FanDuel at that 8+. PrizePicks has him at a 7.5, whereas hits allowed under over are at a flat 5 on PrizePicks. Your lineup for your Rockies, no more Blackman, guys, as he went to the IL yesterday, which is always a freaking yeah when you're looking at K props. 7 righties and 2 lefties. His K per 9 this year, very small sample size, so we're only going to hit his lefty righties, is 8.3 versus the left-handed side with a 13.3 K per 9 versus the right-handed side. His career is a 10.3 versus the left-handed side and a 10 versus the right-handed side. Now, guys, we get our newest member in the black book, James Paxton, a.k.a. Big Maple, in a matchup from the baseball gods. These Rockies numbers versus lefties over the last 200 plate appearances may be the worst I have seen all year. They're walking below league average, bottom 5 in batting average and OPS, bottom 10 in isolated power, while striking out at an absurd 32%. And because of that, guys, we get a 7.5 on a guy who has been a 5.5 for his first 4 games, as he didn't have a line his first game back. He is only 3-2 to the over 5.5 this year, guys. Then we get a jump up, not a bump, a fucking jump. And I get it. Paxton hasn't seen a team this year with a K percentage above 23.2, and we get a fucking 32% right now in this spot today. And if it wasn't for Blake Snell putting up a 12-piece versus a team last night, I'd be looking to straight bet this 7.5. But what I've learned betting K props is it's not always been a good thing, guys, when the same side pitcher dicks down a team like Blake Snell did to these Rockies last night. So at the moment, I have a half-unit alt parlay at -115 on FanDuel, taking Paxton at 7+ and hooking him to Luzardo at 6+. Then I have another half-unit alt parlay with Paxton drop down to 6+ and Luzardo at 7+ at -103. So 2 half-unit alt parlays, switching up Paxton and Luzardo, the 2 stud lefties in great matchups today. Now we get to talk about a kid who was also in a great matchup. Like I said, this tends to be the theme of the day, guys. He's not in the back book, but we have made money off of him, and we don't say that often, guys, because I don't bet pitchers in the black book. Well, I have bet Matthew Liberatore versus the Brewers. Now he gets these Giants at home. 2022 and 2023 combined, as he's only got 50 innings in the big leagues. He's got a disgusting 16.5 K percentage and a disgusting 11.2 walk percentage. Morning line was 4+ at -145 on BetMGM. His best line available now is 5+ at +120 on FanDuel. He was at a 4 flat on PrizePicks, where his earned runs under over are at 2.5 on PrizePicks. Projected lineup today is 7 righties and 2 lefties. K per 9 in those 50 innings in the 2 years combined is 8.8 at home, with a 6 K per 9 on the road. Granted, he only has 18 innings at home compared to 31 on the road in his short career. He averages 7.4 versus the left-handed side and only 7 K per 9 versus the right-handed side. Now we get what looks like a great spot for Matthew Liberatore here versus the Giants, who over the last 200 plate appearances versus lefties, they're not walking at a disgusting 4.7%, and they're striking out at a 25% clip. They are hitting the ball, though, at a nice 305 team average and a beast-ass 803 OPS, but they are middle of the pack isolated power. Now, I know we got on Matthew Liberatore versus the Brewers, but man, the Brewers are bad versus lefties, guys. And Liberatore had a previous game where he dominated the Brewers the year before, so I felt real comfortable getting involved. Now, I get it, guys. If you are on the over, that's the only way I can look. But I can't put my money on him today, as he is coming off of 2 bad starts. Granted, Texas was one of them, and I will not fault him for that. But he also got hit by Cleveland, guys, and that game bothers me. Yeah, Cleveland doesn't strike out, but they also don't hit lefties, guys, for the life of them, unless they don't belong in the big leagues. And that tells me something, guys, because over the last week, Cleveland's gotten to 2 guys, a 34-year-old man who don't belong in the big leagues. All right, and this guy right here. So, Matthew Liberatore may just need a couple more lickings and move-ins, guys, before I can get on him, guys, because I really think he gets pounded today. And that's just me. He did see the Dodgers for an inning out the pin, guys, and they can't hit lefties, guys, and they popped his ass for an inning as well, guys. So shout out to Noli Knows, guys, for telling me about his last post-game interview with Matthew Liberatore, where he talks about falling behind hitters again and how that's been leading to trouble for this guy every time he's ran into trouble. His control has been an issue, guys, as he has a career 11.2 walk percent in the big leagues. If you're not going to be patient versus this guy and take your walks with this stupid 4.7 walk percent next to these Giants' name, this man can rack up them strikeouts today, guys, and he can have one of them days where he has himself 6-7 strikeouts in 5 innings. But he can also have one of them days, guys, where he runs into trouble and doesn't see the 4th inning, guys. So, there's just too much volatility in there for me, guys, to trust this kid. But it's still over or nothing with these Giants not walking, guys. At the end of the day, yes, they are striking out at a 25% clip, but that 4.7 walk percent is way more alarming than that 25% K percent. And 25 is bad, guys. So I think it's one of those games where he hits his strikeout prop and may get taken to the woodshed, guys. And if you know me, I like to get dirty. And I don't like to get that dirty, guys. And what I mean by dirty is I prefer smooth sailing. Let's go 6-7 innings, cash our K prop, and dominate the game. Now, there is sometimes where you just get taken to the woodshed and hit your K prop. And sometimes I'll thank you, Jesus, for that one, guys. And sometimes, like Luis Severino, that's the last one I can remember. He got the dog piss kicked out of him, but we got 6 strikeouts. So I try to stay away from those guys, and that's what I see in this matchup today with Matthew Liberatore. Guys, we're now going to hit a really quick commercial. We're going to come back with our newest segment on the show, Hit and Run with LJ, as the best prop show on God's green earth just got better.
Welcome to another edition of The Balking Dead.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of EPL on
Class is in session, hitting the books on Pub Sports.
This is another exciting edition of the main event on Talking Ant.
And I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better. See, I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy.
Yeah, I got a better producer than you guys. We're back with Hit and Run with LJ. LJ, my man, hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining me.
Hey man, I'm doing great, Sharpie. Thank you, sir, for allowing me to bring my expertise onto your show. So I feel like I've made it, man. I'm on the Balking Dead, man. It don't get any better than this, my guy.
Man, I track people, bro. Let's be real. The few people I do bring on this show, you gotta be good at what you do, or else I'll just let you be you, and I will let everyone be themselves. But on this show, you've got to do what God has put us on this earth, and that's to win fucking money. So let's talk about it, guys. We got a few games on the board. LJ did want to get to today. The first game up is the Braves at the Tigers. How you looking to get paid in this game?
Man, I'm only looking one way in this game, brother, and that is Ronald Acuna Jr., my guy. This man here, man, he's had 1+ hit 19 out of his last 25 games. But let's break it down even shorter. 1+ hit 9 out of his last 10 games. He's third in hits on the road, averaging 1.5. And the most important part right now, he's averaging 2.5 bases on the road. That's his third in the major league. So my proper today, man, first is Ronald Acuna over 1.5 bases, -129. And I got a little alt parlay as well once we get up to the next hitters. But that's on my first leg right there. Ronald Acuna over 1.5 bases, -129.
Oh, I like that, bro. With the stats to back it. Let's get into the next game we're talking about, man. And we're going to talk about a little AFC West divisional matchup between two surprise teams this year, guys, in the MLB. How you looking to get paid in the Angels at the Rangers?
Man, I'm going with the hottest bat in the league right now, Sharpie. Corey Seager over 1.5 bases, and they got it at plus money, Sharpie. 102, my guy. Batting 381 versus Anderson, batting 362 versus left-hand pitching. And he's number one in the MLB, averaging 2+ bases at home on the season, bro. And not to mention, you could do even a side in this game because I would take the over 9.5 because out of the last 21 games that the Angels and the Rangers have played, 18 of those games have gone over the marks. So that's how I'll be looking at this,
brother. I mean, I got Corey Seager on my motherfucking wall still, brother. So, man, that's one guy I am happy that he got paid for. And, yeah, I love me some Ronald Acuna. I've already given out my Acuna story on this show, but had the whole Dodgers stadium, left field chanting, "Who's your daddy?" because he was an 18-year-old kid, and I told him I loved him, and I never meant to leave him, and I wanted some of his paycheck. So, didn't work out. But I'm definitely remembered at Dodger Stadium for that. So, yeah. Last game you did want to get involved with is what I believe is the best pitching matchup on the board. And we're talking Marlins at the Mariners. How you looking to attack these two studs?
Hey, man, I'm getting 2 hitter props in this one for sure. As we already know, the person that's leading the league in batting average is Luzardo. I think that's his last name, our reserve for the Marlins. Arias, I'm sorry. Yeah. Number one in batting average, 397. You might as well say 400, bro. I mean, he's right there at it. He's had 1+ hit 22 out of his last 26 games. He's had 1+ hit in 8 straight games, and he's had 2+ bases in 29 games on the season. Now, I'm not going to take the 2+ bases because I'm going to lay off and take Ty France in this game for the Mariners over 1.5 bases, and that's at plus money, plus 146. Because this guy here has had 1+ hit 13 out of his last 17 games. He's had 2+ bases at home averaging, and he's had 2+ bases in 7 straight games. Now, those 3 props right there that I'm going to alt parlay as well. I'm going to put Acuna for a hit, with Arias for a hit, and Ty France for a hit. All 3 of those batters on one parlay will get you a plus 137 payout. Full unit, because I did this all last week. And like I just mentioned, these guys have had a hit 9 out of their last 10 games. So if you alternate all those together, you're going to come out winning because they're going to get a hit. So alternate them together, get you some plus money. Need it.
Quick question. Did you do a straight bet on Luis Arias, or are you just using him in your hit parlay?
I'm using him in my hit parlay. I use Corey Seager as a straight up full unit prop.
No, I was
Betting him
just making
Seager.
sure,
Yeah.
bro, because
Yeah.
when I type in the recap, bro, because when I put in the timestamps, I want people to know. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Acuna. So,
Let's get to it, man. Quick little recap for those that are going to be showing up late and hit that recap button that I will put in the comment section. LJ, guys, took a few hitting props, guys. And if you want to check the breakdowns, go ahead back and hit it, though, guys. He's going to start the day off taking Acuna over 1.5 at -129. Then he's going to jump over to the Rangers game and take Corey Seager over 1.5 at a +102. That sounds like a real nice one, too, guys. And then you know what sounds even nicer? Good plus money on Ty France over 1.5 at +146, guys. And to boot, we've got a hit parlay at +137. We're going to take all three of those guys, and we're going to add in Luis Arias, the best hitter since Tony fucking Gwynn, and we're going to get +137 for a full unit bet, guys. Appreciate you more than you know, LJ. Thanks again for coming on. Want to tell these fine young people what you've got going on and where they can find you.
Oh man, they can find me on Twitter at LJ Sports Media. And also all on Pub Sports today for the most part. I will be tonight with Jimmy doing a live NBA Finals Game 5. So you can follow me there. And just follow me on Pub Sports, man. Anytime these guys have any shows, I'm willing to jump on, give my expertise, and do what I can because this is what we do. We love capping these sports, and we love bringing the people money. So we're going to continue to keep doing what we do. So appreciate you for bringing me on, Sharpie. Much love, man. Hope to be back real soon, my guy.
Appreciate you too, my guy. We're now going to hit a real quick commercial. Come right back with the last three pitchers we're going to cover today on the Balking Dead. Welcome back to the Balking Dead, fellas. As we've covered the first three pitchers today, we just finished off with hit and run with LJ, and now we're here to finish up the last three pitchers on our board today. Number 61 in the black book, Zac Eflin at the A's. This year has a 25.7 K percent and a nice 3.5 walk percentage. Morning line 6+ at -120 on MGM. The best line available before this show was 6+ -130 as well, still at MGM. Excuse me. PrizePicks has a 5.5, whereas hits allowed under over are at a flat 5 on PrizePicks. Projected lineup today for your Oakland Athletics: 5 righties and 4 lefties. This year, Eflin has a 8.2 K per nine at home and a 10.3 on the road. Granted, he has 43 innings at home compared to just 23 on the road where he is at today. Lefties, guys, he has an 8.9 K per nine where he has a 9 K per nine versus the right-handed side. Pretty much doesn't matter. Been a strikeout per inning type of guy. Now we get our guy, Zac Eflin, in the spot we talked about last week when we played Eflin for the first time this year. And we found the golden ticket when we're running this, guys. And we look at the A's numbers over the last 15 days. They're actually quite good for the A's standards. They're walking at an elite percent, not striking out as well. They're 10th through 12th in the batting average department, but they're 24th in isolated power. And that's the number I like to look at, guys, to see how real their batting average and OPS numbers, and it tells me if they're real or not. Eflin did face these A's earlier in the year with no numbers to look at, where Eflin went 6 innings with 7 strikeouts. Now, the A's have an elite walk percentage, but like the team Eflin faced last week, we're going to say the same damn thing, and that is pound that elite walk percentage up your ass, guys. He may have the best walk percentage in all of baseball with a 3.5 walk percent in over 11 games. So last night, guys, I looked at projected lineup, and I made 3 different lineups. that may come out, whether if they wanted to switch their shortstops like they do sometimes, who's going to be their DH, who's going to be their left fielder. And obviously Langers was going to be the catcher with Perez catching yesterday. So I made 3 different lineups to see, okay, this is what can happen and this is what may happen. So this is where we get in on my boy Zac Eflin, guys. And we talk about we attack teams with a bad whiff percentage. Well, they're bottom 5 no matter which way I make their lineup, from a 27.6% all the way up to 29%. Not just looking at the team whiff numbers, actually running them in an average calculator, guys. So yeah, I'm on Eflin 5.5 over at -120. As we said last week, the golden ticket when playing Eflin is whiff percentage, as he's faced 3 teams this year in the top 5 whiff percentage, going 3-0 to the over 5.5, averaging 8 strikeouts a game. Wiggle motherfucking room, guys. Whiff percentage, bam. And Eflin means let's freaking go Team Sharpie. So we on our boy Eflin today. When the whiff percentage says bang, bang, we go. Pay us, bankies. Next guy on the book, I love us some Jesus, some Black Jesus, number 59, Jesus Luzardo at the Mariners. This year he's got a 28.2 K percent and a 6.6 walk percent. Morning line 7+ -150 on FanDuel. The best line available before the show is on Bet Rivers at that 7+ at -150, or he's plus money most places on the 8+. PrizePicks has him at a flat 7, whereas hits allowed under over are at a flat 5. Projected lineup is 7 righties and 2 lefties. K per 9 this year. He has a 10.5 and a 10.6 home road. It really doesn't really matter, but he does have 47 innings at home compared to 26 on the road. Lefties, he's striking out at an 11.1 K per 9, while righties a nice 10.3. Now we get Black Jesus, and another great spot versus these Mariners, who over the last 200 plate appearances do have a nice batting average. They're 12th in OPS and 20th in isolated power, but they're not walking, as they are below league average, and they're striking out at a 25% clip. Now, I know only a few books have the 6.5s out there, and most have moved to the 7.5 at plus money. So we have to talk the 6.5 and the 7.5s accordingly. And Luzardo this year has faced 5 teams with a K percentage of 24 or worse. He's going 3-2 to either the 6.5 or the 7.5, averaging only 7.6 strikeouts a game. If we take out the one time he did see the Braves, where he has seen that team more than any other team throughout his 2 years over on the Marlins, this man's average jumps up to 8 strikeouts a game. Now, I talk about wiggle room a lot, guys. There isn't much left on the bone with the 7.5. And this is why I wanted to attack him, guys. And I have no problem paying for a juice for this man in this spot. Some guys don't like juice, and I get it. My boy Underrated in the chat, that's the O.J. Simpson of the betting world right there, fellas. You tell him juice, and he says go. So I know you're listening right now, and I know we all to this, man. But 6+ at 7+ -150. If you guys do have legal books out there, that's the way you want to attack it. Now, if you want to pull the juice down like I did, like a big vagine, I took him at 7+, and I took Paxton down to 6+, and I got a -103 on a half unit alt parlay. I then also took Luzardo at a 6+ and hooked him to Paxton 7+, and got a -115 on that alt parlay, guys. Sharpie 316, roll 34. We do not chase women or K props. So now that it's a 7.5, that's chasing, guys. He's only hit this 6.5 at a 50% win rate over his last 10 games. Now, the -150 is the tax we are going to have to bite, guys, if you want to get in on a full unit type bet. And we'll pay the juice. We just don't like taking it up a whole nother number, guys. On this show, what I do is bet when a guy's going to shatter his average. As I said, we got that 7.6, and it goes up to 8 if we take out the divisional matchup versus the Braves, when we get a K percentage of 24 or worse. So this Seattle team is not good versus lefties. Jesus Luzardo has been elite, guys. So the lean on the over is 7.5, but like I said, I would alt him down to where he belongs at that 6.5, and either pay the juice or find a way to take it down with the old Big Maple, because he's in a great matchup as well. Now we get to talk the other side of this matchup, which is this is the best pitching matchup on the board. Shout out to the 70 plus live. Shout out to the 50 who hit the like. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Number 88 in the black book, Bryce Miller versus these Marlins. 2023, he's got a 21.7 K percentage and a 3.3 walk percentage. Morning line, 5+ at -106 on FanDuel, where the best line available is on DraftKings at that 5+ at a -115. PrizePicks has him at a 4.5, whereas pitching outs under over are at 17.5 on PrizePicks. Your projected lineup for your Marlins today is 6 righties, 3 lefties, with the Tony Gwynn of baseball, Luis Arias. K per 9 this year in 2023, 7.6 at home, 7.9 on the road. He is at home today. Granted, he has 48 innings at home compared to just 23 on the road. Lefties, he's got a 6.8 K per 9 compared to an 8.5 versus the right-handed side. Now we get Bryce Miller, guys, after back-to-back clunkers versus some teams who were raking when they seen him in the Yankees and Rangers. But that wasn't the only issue. A shout-out to Noli Knows once again brought to my attention this morning that Miller had 27 starts, guys, in his minor league career, and only 4 of those 27 did that guy go on 4 days rest and go, a normal MLB routine. And if we look at this year, he's had 7 games, and only 3 of those games have they asked him to go on regular 4 days rest and go on a normal MLB. Where in those other 4 games, they asked the man, they gave him the extra day like he's used to, and he went out on either the 5th or 6th day. So we get this man pushed back a day when he was supposed to start yesterday, so they could get him back on the schedule. They believe he pitches better in. And I get it, guys. These guys are creatures of habit. We talk about that more often than not, dude. We all are creatures of habit. Baseball players on another level, creatures of habit, guys. So let's look at these Marlins numbers. They're elite. They're walking 9%. They're not striking out at a league best 18% clip. Well, they're 11th in batting average, middle of the pack in OPS and isolated power. They've actually seen some pitchers, guys, that we like to bet on in that time span. So I go look at a few ways I would like to back pitchers. We like to bet on, and let's go look. Bryce Miller throws strikes. We know this, guys. This guy is a strike thrower, guys. So we want to attack teams with bad whiff percentages, guys. And when we go look at teams over the last 15 days, over the pitchers that he's faced, guys, with high velocity fastballs, they've dominated in Kopech and Cease just over the last 10 days. Now, Musgrove also had a really good game at Zem as well, and had a blow up when he had a fucking no-hitter going, and a 30-minute inning where they changed the pitcher 2 times. We talk about that. That's the worst thing in baseball. That was murder to Shane McClanahan the other day for us at the end of the day, for us who were on McClanahan. Those 20 to 30-minute innings where they've got to change pitchers once or twice, start praying to baby Jesus, guys, because if you can cash out of your bet, you should probably do it in that timing, because more often than not, they lose command the longer they sit, guys. We want these guys humming, guys. And in this spot, I think we're going to get 2 pitchers that are going to do their fucking job. So the Marlins, they're not swinging at pitches in the zone. They're at an 82.6% of the time, and that's actually 1.5% lower than league average. So that's an advantage to Miller in this spot. But a red flag to me is when they do swing at pitches in the zone, they're making contact 1% higher than league average, and Miller hunts the zone. So we check whiff percentage, guys, and like the Rangers and Yankees, these Marlins are league average whiff percentage. Yet the one thing the Rangers and Yankees don't do that these Marlins will do is chase, guys. And they're chasing pitches outside the zone almost 2% more than league average. So I have no bet right now on a strikeout prop, but it is a heavy lean, and I wouldn't be surprised if this man gets hooked today, as I know they have the one guy who doesn't strike out, and we just talked about him with LJ. So that's the lean on that. But some of these guys behind him, guys, look lost at the plate, to say the least, guys. Sanchez at times can be 3 to 4 strikeouts. Even Soler, yes, he hits for power, guys, but he has a lot of swing and miss in that bat. So when I look at some other numbers, it seems like when the Marlins do hit the ball, it's a straight ground ball, guys. Their ground ball rate is freaking top 5 in the league, where their fly ball rate is in the bottom 8%. So when we look at Gilbert, when he's on the few games, well, not few, he's been on for a couple good games. He has a ratio of about a 60-40 ground ball to fly ball ratio. So I do expect a bounce back, as the two guys the Marlins have seen over the past 15 days with high velo has racked up them strikeouts. I'm not racked them up, but they did hit their K props over, as in Cease, as in Kopech, and both had at least 6 strikeouts and gave up a combined 1 earned run. Now, the lean, like I said, on the K prop is over. The bet is a half unit on his earned runs under 2.5. I think we got a solid game. We get a solid game from the kid today. He's had a few bad spots and has allowed 3 earned runs in 4 of his last 7 starts. Granted, that's all he's had is 7 starts. And if we really want to look at it, 3 of his last 4, guys. So when everyone wants to look left, Team Sharpie's going to look right, guys. So, yeah, he has given up three or more runs in 3 of his last 4. And I'm going to go under, guys. Like I said, when we get 2 pitchers on, we can get a very, very quick game. So I wouldn't be surprised if this man pitches to contact today. And definitely lean to the over on his outs harder than I do his strikeouts, as I expect 6 solid innings from this kid today. Today, guys, on the Balking Dead, if you don't know already, this is the best damn prop show on God's green earth. If you're just going to tune in for the recap, please hit the like button. It does help the algorithms a lot. We started the day talking Uncle Charlie Morton, and how he is in a great spot versus the Tigers. But I had to let him go for now, unless I do get 4 lefties. Then I'll look to get in, as Morton, since last season, has struggled on the road versus right-handed bats. Then we talked us some big maple, guys. James Paxton. I did 2 half-unit alt parlays with another lefty in a great spot, Jesus Luzardo. I did Paxton 7+ with Luzardo 6+ at a -115, and Luzardo 7+ with Paxton down to 6+ at -103, both for a half unit. Then we talked to some Matt Liberatore and how he's in a great spot by the walk-in strikeout percentages, but there was enough concern for me to be worried about that I do think he can get hit hard and pulled before he cashes. So the lean is over, but there is no bet there. Where I do have a bet is a full unit on Zac Eflin, over 5.5 strikeouts at -120. We finish off the show, guys, with a half unit bet on Bryce Miller, under 2.5 earned runs, as I do expect a good start from the kid today. We now, guys, have timestamps for those who are busy. At worst, the 2 recaps with the hitting and pitching props we will bet that day. At best, when I have time, a stamp on all the pitchers we talk about. Appreciate you all for tuning in to the best MLB prop show on God's green earth, the Balking Dead, on what hopes to be another successful week for Team Balking Dead. As you already know, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over to PrizePicks, use promo code PubSports, get a match deposit up to $100, minimum of $25 on your first deposit. Until next time, I'm Sharpie's Bets. This show is produced by Big Show Picks and on Pub Sports Radio. Some say we be pubbing. I say pubbing we be.
Keep firing, assholes!